You know what? There are moments, in life that feels like when everything feels heavy, like you wake up and all, but you do not feel excited about the future. Like you actually look around you and you only see uncertainty and all. People are struggling every single day, like plans are always changing, the world feels overwhelming, and during these moments it becomes so easy to like lose directions. That's the thing, like, yeah, because you're gonna start asking yourself, like, does my effort even matter? That's the thing. Like, am I even moving in the right directions? Like, yeah. So how do I keep living when everything feels difficult? That's the thing. Like, the truth is like you cannot always control what happens around you, right? Like, you cannot control every situation, you cannot control every outcome, but you can control what meaning you give to your journey. You can choose what signs that you look for. Sometimes you can choose what you focus on, right? Okay, so basically, like, you can choose what future you are continue building, because when the world feels so heavy, sometimes your ability, like, to create your own directions becomes so beautiful. Like, it becomes your greatest strength among all things. By the way, my name is Aries and I'm your online BFF for today. Thank you for clicking today's video. Bless your day, girls, boys. So back to the topic. All right, so sometimes your mind search for evidence, like your brain is like constantly looking for a proof. Sometimes, like, it looks for evidence that, like evidence to support what you believe. Sometimes if you believe that, oh, everything is falling apart and all, your mind will notice every single problem, like every disappointment, every negative event. But if you believe that, oh, I am actually still moving forward, like, then your mind gonna start noticing opportunities around you, lessons, possibilities. This does not mean that ignoring reality. It means that understanding that your focus basically, like, shapes your experiences. Like two people can go through the same difficult situations. Like, one person gonna say, like, oh, you know what, this is the end, like, like, oh, I'm gonna fail and all, like, and then another person gonna say, is like, oh, this is actually teaching me something, like, it is actually building me, like, it's giving me a lesson, things that I need to learn. So the situation is the same thing, it's the same thing, but the interpretation itself, like, creates a different outcome, a different path, like, so your mind actually needs a direction. So I want you to, like, choose carefully what you basically allow it to think for and what you basically allow your mind to search for. Okay, so you are the one that control your mind, okay, your mindset and all, right? So, like, wait, let me just pause this. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back, girls, boys. Okay, so so basically, like, many people wait for a sign before they even take an action. Sometimes, like, they wait for the perfect moment. Sometimes, like, they wait for certainty, they wait until life gives them a permission. But sometimes you have to choose your own sign. Sometimes, like, a sign, like, can be a reminder that you create for yourself, a promise, a value, a goal, a decision. Like, for example, like, you basically decide that when I see challenges, I will see them as a proof that I am actually growing. Alright, so you decide that to yourself that, oh, when something does not work in my way, I will look for the lesson. So you decide that when life feels uncertain, I will basically return to my purpose and all. So basically you are creating a personal meaning system, like, because the truth is life does not always send clear messages to us, right? So sometimes you create clarity through the choices that you made. All right, so I want you to set goals during a difficult times. Sometimes when life feels so heavy, many people stop setting goals because they basically think that, oh, I will start when things get better. But sometimes having a goal is what helps you move through the difficult times. A goal gives your mind a direction. It gives you something to build to or something. Like, it basically is like, oh, remind you something that, oh, basically my future still matters. Your future is waiting for you. So however, your goals needs to be realistic and meaningful, because do not create goals only like based on pressure. Okay, because creating a goals based, you need to create like a goal that based on your growth. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself that, oh, what kind of person do I want to become? What skill do I want to develop? What habits will improve my life? What small action that can I basically take today? Because you do not need to fix your entire life at once, right? Because you need a direction. Okay, so it's basically is a small step repeated consistently, basically can like change your entire future. So sometimes hope, I want you to create a hope through action, because hope is not just a feeling, right? Because hope is built through an action. So every time that you keep a promise to yourself, you create trust. Okay, so every time that you complete a small goal, just a tiny goal, you basically create a confidence. So every time that you choose progress over giving up, you basically strengthen your identity. Like, okay, so when life feels so heavy, do not focus only on the size of the mountain. All right, focus on the next step. One small step at a time, because you do not need to know exactly how everything will work, how everything will like falls into places. You do not need to know, because we're not a psychic, we do not have we can't like predict the future and everything, because you basically like only need to know like, what can I do today? You just live in the present. You should ask yourself, oh, what can I do now? What shall I do? Because the future is basically created through today's decision. Small actions are powerful because they basically remind you that, oh, I still have control. I still have a control towards myself, towards my action, towards my mind, towards my focus. And I'm making sure that my action is aligned with my focus and everything, because sometimes you need to protect your vision, in this difficult world sometimes, because throughout our daily life sometimes it makes us forget our vision and our goals sometimes. It's because the world will always have noise. Yeah, people will have opinions. There will always be reasons to doubt. If you constantly absorb fear, you will eventually start carrying the fear that does not even belong to you. So protect your mind, protect your energy. Be intentional about what you actually consume, not because you want to escape reality, but because you need enough strength to contribute positively to it. Oh my god, I keep twisting. Okay, so basically your growth like still matters even when progress feels slow. Like your dreams actually still matter even when the world like feels so uncertain and all, because and also like your future still matters even when the present moment feels so difficult right now. Yeah, that's it. So let me wrap this up, with my final message, like there will be seasons where life feels clear, and there will be seasons where life feels like confusing sometimes, but every season has something to teach you. When the road feels heavy, do not wait for life to give you a reason to continue, because create your own reason. Why do you keep continuing? Why? Choose your own signs, set your own direction, build your own meaning, because the strongest people are not those who live in a perfect conditions. They are the people who learn how to keep growing in like imperfect condition, unpredictable situations, because your circumstances may influence your journey, but they do not have to decide your destination. I want you to keep moving, keep building, keep believing that, because even in the heaviest moments, you're still creating the future version of yourself. That's it. And thank you for listening until the end. I appreciate it. So have a great night. Have a great night's sleep tonight, I guess. Yep. Drink more water. That's all. Bye. Thank you so much.